It's a measurement that hasn't been done intensively recently, but until recently, I should say. Kilian Bayer, Switzerland, out of the World Cup. Much better. Now, why did he not do that during the World Cup? Kilian Bayer, world bronze medalist on the Bergiesel in 2019. Equal with Faletic of Slovenia. So now this is bubbling up nicely as we come to a familiar face. Jakub Volny. 4 times he's succeeded at Continental Cup level in his career. Never on the podium in World Cup, but if you go back to Vickerson 2019 on the ski flying hill, he was 4th there. That's the closest he's ever got, but the last couple of seasons have been really tough. This is where he struggles, getting this in-run position correct, and also the timing for transition to take the speed off the end of the table. Well over 130 meters in the trial, and he's up there again. 135.5 in the trial round, 131.5, 11 points of compensation. Bit of a difference of opinion from the style judges, but it's competitive. Winner in Courchevel and Wisła in the Grand Prix in the summer, and that's encouraging, that's better. 129 meters gives him a chance. 7th place qualified, but Žiga is in. From one Slovenian to another, and a much more experienced athlete, although still only in his early 20s, Rok Mazle. 11th in Ruka in one of the 2 competitions there. Incidentally, by a toenail. That looks to me as if it's going to be enough to put him into the points round. Style is okay. 125.5. This should be enough to keep Noriaki alive. Alexander Schnitzl, 12th place in the Continental Cup rankings, 15th and 10th in the first 2 events in Ruka in Finland. And that's a little better. Balance was much better. He actually controlled that rather nicely throughout the flight. The landing was solid. Those marks are fair. 9 plus 5 is 14 points worth of compensation. This is competitive. And he's up there in the lead. Poland with the advantage. So they are 1 and 2 and 20. And Leitner pushes the Polish boys down. And now Markus Müller, another challenger. And that is the lead. That is the new advantage by the 23-year-old Austrian. And that was really good. 138 meters. 11th in Innsbruck on the Bergiesel. His best ever World Cup. But making the transition from Continental Cup to World Cup, he's yet to achieve that. Has a top 10 in World Cup in Kulm on the ski flying hill. Eigner into 6th place, and now Klemens Joniak for Poland. Penultimate man in the first round. And 5th and 7th in Poland. For Poland, I should say, in Ruka. Now, 123, it's... So, Yukiya Sato there, some 10 points, getting on for 6 meters behind Noriaki Kasai in 16th place, 14 points to make up. And there, Benedikt Holub of the Czech Republic, the last man to qualify. But these men you see down here in this position, or these positions, I should say, with an awful lot to do. And unfortunately for these guys, tomorrow's another day. The second of our Engelberg Continental Cup competitions. 12 o'clock midday, 12 o'clock Central European time for the start of that competition. And that's so that the Vierschanzen and the first qualifying in Oberstdorf will occupy center stage. And that's really disappointing, the disqualifications there. I haven't actually got the details. He's 10 points behind Jankar. Now, I'm surprised to see Clemens Joniak going this early. Poor first effort, but could counterpunch. And does so. That's more like it. He's going to be kicking himself that he got it all wrong in the first round. 5th and 7th in Ruka in the first 2 Continental Cup competitions of the season. And 133 with those star marks and the backwind compensation, and his advantage over Jankar gives Poland the edge. Early days. Excellent a challenge now. Felix Strunz, a little bit like Yannick Wasser. Respectable World Cup points here just before the holidays. And that's okay. Nice solid landing. And this has got to be 17 and a half. Might even be an 18. Here they come. 1, 2, 3. And we're waiting for the last set of marks there. Pity about the 7th twice. 2 meters ahead of Marta, who goes into second place for Finland. And now Hannes Landerer with Noriaki Kasai getting ready to slide out onto the bar. Landerer is useful. And this is really competitive now. That's the new lead with that distance, I think. A little less, though, a little less compensation. And Landerer misses out by 2.9 points, and that's the backwind compensation, just softened off a bit. Felix Strunz and now Noriaki Kasai. Third, that's the highest he's ever finished for the overall season, but he's been such a servant to Japanese ski jumping, inspired so many, still does. When you hear the likes of Domen Prejelz talking about Noriaki Kasai, a huge amount of respect, and rightly so. So the gate is down to 18 from 19. And Kasai, lovely balance. Beautifully over the skis there. Now he hasn't quite got the meters that he needs. Short of 130, but not by much. Couple of meters short. And Strunz, who continues to climb. Faletic now for Slovenia. Excellent. Really excellent, out to his left, but nonetheless, the meters are there. 135 meeting with 129 meters. This is 127 and a half. It's all down to the advantage, and you can see there, backwind really strong, 12 points. More difficult. And then, as they say, there were 4, 2 for Poland, 2 for Austria, and it's the legend that is Dawid Kubacki. Dropped out of the Polish Four Hills team. Well, that's a little more encouraging. Characteristically over to the right. That uneven pressure between the left and the right legs coming off the table. 131 meters though. 16 points of backwind compensation. 21 points of compensation, 22 points, and he's in the lead by 3 points over Clemens Eigner. So it's either going to be a Polish day or it's going to be an Austrian day. And now from one Polish boy to another, Alexander Schnitzschel. Alexander. This would be a huge confidence boost for him. Twice on the podium at World Cup level in Lahti and Lake Placid 2 seasons ago. 4 Continental Cup victories in his career, but not the most consistent, this 31-year-old. And Schnitzschel fades away, drops down the order. There, really difficult to see, but 122 meters, it suggests that things went very wrong. And now we're down to 2 Austrians to take on David Kubacki. Clemens Leitner and Markus Müller, both achievers at this level. Clemens Leitner to go first. That's competitive and beautifully done. This deserves to take the lead, and it will take the lead. 135 meters. Even though the backwind compensation is less for him than it was for Kubacki. And Leitner into the lead. Kubacki to second, Eigner to third, and Sato off the podium. And now it's just down to Markus Müller. Markus Müller, 7th and 13th in Ruka. And there it is, Markus Müller taking on Clemens Leitner, but 4 big meters, the advantage of Leitner, who gets the victory.